Today's topic is all about your perceptions and how what you perceive becomes your reality. Stay tuned. Welcome to Law of Attraction Detox, where we detoxify from toxic techniques and instead embrace our true nature in the present moment, where all manifestational possibilities exist. So today's topic is all about our perception and how that is literally creating our life through us. So if you can imagine that you are like a projector, and whatever, back in the old days where they did reels of film, and they would put these reels of film inside of these machines that would project out onto a screen, like that is literally what our life is like. It's almost like a living, walking hallucination, right? And the stories that we tell ourselves, they can oftentimes be completely not true. So you could put 100 people in one room and ask them to perceive relationships, for instance, and they would probably all tell you something based on what they have experienced from the past. So your perception about reality is kind of skewed. And it's sad because so many of us are recreating our reality over and over again. How many of you have seen a pattern over and over and over in your relationships, or in your financial life, or in your health, or your looks? Right? Drop a comment if you have experienced this same pattern over and over again. Why is it that you keep experiencing the same thing over and over again? I'll tell you why. It's because you are perceiving life from a certain angle. So imagine that you are a circle. You're on this line. It's a big circle, and in the middle there's a tiny, tiny, tiny point. Okay, and that tiny, tiny, tiny point is the infinite expanse of the universe. It is the infinite possibilities in life. But you are dancing around this circle of perception, of awareness, and all different angles, right? You could literally look from any different angle on any given situation. One person might say, yeah, that person is lying. Another person might say, no, I know that person is completely honest and truthful, and anything in between. And so basically when you're talking about a specific person here, and you're looking at this person, what angle are you looking at them from? Are you looking at them from an angle of fear? I don't know, last time this happened, I was in this relationship with this person, and they ended up ghosting me, and it hurt so bad. Or last time I was in this relationship, they suddenly dumped me out of nowhere, even though we were having a great time. Or you know what I mean? Like, you have all of these fears, this baggage, we call it, right? You literally are like throwing this sack of like garbage, and you're like pulling it out, and you're like, oh, that's old salad from 3 years ago, and it's like, shit, like that's not what you want to be doing when you're in a fresh new thing. So how can you stay in that baby-like state? You were just born today. You were just born into this awareness. You were just birthed into this specific state of being. That is your true nature. That is the point inside of a circle. What is that? Drop a comment. What is that thing called where it's like a device, and it's like got a little thing, and it's got a pencil on one side and it goes and makes a big circle? Is it a compass, protractor? I always get those two confused. That right there, my friend, is kind of our lives. Like, it's a circle, perfect circle. And we can be on any point at any given time in an instant. So if you want to be on the middle where all possibilities exist, you have to drop all of your expectations. You have to drop all of your stories. You have to drop every single thing that you have thought up until now and become a completely brand new, clean slate. Wiped clean. That is, my friend, how you can have every single thing in your life show up perfect and clean. Although it will come with possibility of some challenges, because you may still be wanting to perceive something from that old perspective. You're pulling out yesterday's salad, it's all wilty and gross, and you're trying to eat it again. when you see and perceive a situation as exactly the same thing that just happened. And the funny thing is when you start to challenge that and say, well, maybe not. Maybe this is actually happening. Maybe my specific person is actually thinking about me all the time. Maybe they're just afraid of being in a relationship and that's why they're acting weird. And you come back home to yourself. You go back into that center point. Instead of dancing around in this circle that's constantly spinning like a freaking wheel, you come back to the stillness in that center point. And when you're in that center point, you can decide to look anywhere. And you can move anywhere. You can decide to just be here without any kind of preconceived notions about what might happen or what might show up. And instead, in that center point, choose one thing. To love. To love yourself, to love another, and to love life. If you master those three things, you won't need any other manifestational tools. You will just be overflowing with love. Life will just be spilling out onto your canvas. And you will begin to experience life from the perspective of love, which is like a fresh, brand new baby. You get to die to that old self, like Neville Goddard says. He always talks about you leave that in the past. You are no longer that person. Because it's true. You can go back and regurgitate and try to eat your 3-year-old salad. But why on earth would that get you anywhere? And so if you're noticing yourself spinning out today, you're noticing yourself, the thoughts and the stories are running rampant and you're really like believing them and you have evidence. I have evidence that this is the way it is because look at Bob, Joe, and Rich and they were all that way and it's always going to be that way, right? You're spinning out. What can you do? Ask yourself right in that moment, what am I experiencing right now? What am I feeling? I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling dis-ease. I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm asking my body and it's like, it's tight. Try to loosen that up a little bit. Try to get back in the flow a little. Do some stretching. Go on a walk. Get out in nature. Go touch a frickin' tree. Remember that you're here on planet Earth, okay? Be here. But then also realize that there's a level of trying to control and manipulate your life to fit into the preconceived notion. You'll start to notice that you are trying to find a way to control your life. Because I can guarantee if you actually sit in this mundane moment of the present moment, it's actually really boring. That, my sweet friend, can be one of the most terrifying things of human existence, is the sheer boredom of the present moment. And so our mind is anxiously searching for something. There must be something else other than this. There must be some way that I can control this. There must be something else I can get. And the beautiful thing is that you can catch yourself. This is a practice. This is an all-day thing. Make this your job. This has to become your job. This has to be the single most important thing that you ever do. And you must want this so badly that you won't let any single thought in your mind contradict what you know. And what you know is that you can have what you want, that you can ask and it is given. And any single thought that contradicts that, you must challenge it with love. You must lovingly tell those thoughts to go take a frickin' hike. And that's the nicest thing that I could think of. Okay? But it's all with love. Because the love is like this, I always talk about this like an incinerator. It's like, it's burning up anything that doesn't exist and anything that is not like it. Only love really truly exists. It's just the lack of awareness of it that you experience, the fear of the unknown. The lack of the experience of love, the lack of knowing that you're loved, the lack of remembering that the only solution is love. So when you're spinning out and you're trying to figure out how, that's like the number one question my clients ask me, how? you know? And it's like, okay, I get it. I get it. Your mind is searching for some sort of technique, something. So I have a 7-day self-love challenge. It's like everything that I tried when I was first starting off with my self-love journey, and everything that has worked for me and I still use to this day. I still wrap myself up. I still hold myself. I still say, I love you. I choose you. I will never leave you. I am right here. You are loved. You are lovable. You are loving. You are absolutely 100% worthy of everything. And all you need to do is be here and be present. And I will show you. I will show you. I'll prove to you every day. You are love. And that, my friend, that is the kind of conversation that I have with myself when I fall asleep at night. That's the kind of conversations I want you to be having with yourself when you fall asleep at night. Because when you start to emanate that love out onto the world, your screen of reality, everything shifts, everything changes, everything's more beautiful, everything tastes better, everything smells better, the sight's better, everything feels better, and people respond differently, and life just becomes more fun. And yes, it's mundane. I still have to do dishes. I still need to start a fire in my fireplace. I still need to figure out how to stay in this physical existence, right? I have to still do. But the doing becomes just an act of being. It becomes birthed from the present moment of just being. And yes, I still have thoughts that come up. I still have worries that come up, but it doesn't take hold of me. It doesn't take a hold of me unless I try to ignore it or shame it or hate it. But if I'm just like, not today, that's not the path that we're heading down today. I love you and stay focused. God is all I trust. God is all I trust. That's what I want you to trust today too, is that consciousness that is within us is all that you'll ever have to trust. And that is God, that is pure love.